I'm here with Amber Rose Johnson. Hi, Amber Rose.
Hey, Al.
We are equally sheltered in place,
Yes.
but still in conversation. Social distancing is the wrong phrase. We are not socially distanced. Yeah.
We are physically distanced,
Yeah.
but socially close.
No, that's true. Maybe even closer than ever because I never this morning would have called you to talk about this poem otherwise. It's a poem by Emily Dickinson. It's numbered 1705. It's sometimes known by its first line, Volcanoes be in Sicily. I'll read it and we'll talk about it for just a couple of
Sounds good.
minutes. Volcanoes be in Sicily and South America. I judge from my geography, volcanoes nearer here. A lava step at any time, am I inclined to climb? A crater I may contemplate, Vesuvius at home. Wow. When I read this poem, I emphasize the word my. I judge from my geography. There's nothing in the typography that suggests to me that I should emphasize my, but I do. Let me say why, and then you can react. She has her own geography. Like, they taught me in school that there's a volcano in Sicily in South America. I'm Emily Dickinson. I'm not going to South America. I'm sheltered in place. So I have my own geography. What does it mean, Amber Rose, to have one's own geography?
I love that. Yeah, I mean, for one, we know that Emily Dickinson was a master of staying at home.
Yes.
But keeping the mind and the imagination big and wandering.
Right.
And that my geography, one, I think is about really claiming one's space, where one is. This is my geography. Right. But also that, to traverse maps doesn't necessarily have to require the same kind of movements that someone might originally, someone might think about. So I can explore my own geography. I can move through spaces in my own manner right from where I'm sitting. I don't have to be, out gallivanting around the world.
Yeah. And it's a radical, radical thought for a person, especially in the 19th century when everything was about experiencing, firsthand experience. Get out there, go see the world, be in contact. The social scene is what you can observe in the streets, and the density of the cities became a thing, and travel by boat and so forth. And she's saying, I think, that one does not need to experience, in that sense, a volcano to experience the power of such a thing. Can we talk about how radical that is for a second? Experience isn't all that it's cracked up to be. You want power? I don't have to go see a volcano.
Right. I mean, the volcano's nearer here. Not just that the volcanoes, I have access to the volcanoes or I can experience them, but I can actually get closer to them here in my mind than maybe if I went to Sicily and could only see them from a certain distance or, things are fenced off, but they're closer to me. The experience of them, my engagement with them can actually be more intimate when I am without all of the kind of sights and sounds and distractions that I think are actually getting me closer, but maybe are taking me farther away in my mind. If my movement is restricted, I have to apply my mind, my thinking kind of to a deeper level, maybe, because I have nothing else to depend upon.
Yeah. In a way, what you're saying, in a way, is visiting a volcano has all kinds of distractions that actually lead you away from the volcano, from the power of the thing. For one thing, they won't let you go right up to the edge and look over as you can in this poem. For another thing, they're going to sell you postcards, all kinds of intermediated images of the thing you're about to see so you can bring them home, or you'll take pictures and post them to Instagram. And I think what she's saying is, I don't need no travel and I don't need no Instagram. I got my poem. So you said here, volcanoes near here, and you interpreted that to mean the here of her thoughts. Mm-hmm. And of course, famously for us, because we're in conversation like this metapoetically all the time, here also refers to this poem itself. I judge from my geography, volcanoes nearer here. The here of this thing that
Right.
she wrote. And I
Right.
began this conversation by saying, I'm here with Amber Rose Johnson, but I'm not here in, I'm here in the Dickinsonian sense, I guess, here in my room. So
Right. The
let's
here isn't only spatial.
by no means. There is a here you can construct that is every bit as powerful as the volcano. And the writing of the poem is a lava step at any time. It's the metric, the rhyming, right? Time climb. She's basically making her moves to the most powerful thing, which is looking at a volcano after it has erupted, that crater, the power after it's gone. Anyway, let's finish this short conversation by talking about the last line, Vesuvius at home. I'm writing in this period, this COVID-19 period. I'm writing at home. You're writing at home, or at least outlining. And and Emily Dickinson is too. Well, Vesuvius at home. Power in this, I have a lot of books and files here, but power? How is that possible? Vesuvius at home.
I mean, I actually, when I read that line, Vesuvius at home, it is about power, and it is about kind of being able to experience the grandness, a kind of grandness of the world from where you are. But at least for me, my first thought was thinking about challenges still that we have to face, mountains that we still have to climb, right from where we are. So my outlining or my writing being a kind of challenge, a mountain that I'm climbing right now.
You bet. A lava step at any time. You're going to fall in and burn up if you're not careful.
I know there's work to be done. There's labor to be done. Those things don't end, in our own geography.
Yes. And home, I mean, you and I, partly because I set us up for this, but you and I are thinking as scholar writers what home means. But it also means when you're hungry, going down to the kitchen, there is a domestic work. This is also, a feminist poem. It's been read that way because she's saying, look, you think I'm the mad woman in the attic, right? Mm-hmm. I'm making power here. This domestic space, the affective labor of the poem is very much like the cooking and the darning. This is Vesuvius at home. I have power. Mm-hmm. And I don't need to go to the volcano to understand the power of the affective labor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I was also thinking, during this time, I've seen some folks sharing maps of their travel, their geography, and the map is like bedroom to kitchen to basement to living room, and that's folks' new geography.
Yeah, bravo.
Thinking about what you're saying, thinking about Emily Dickinson in the attic or in the garden or in the kitchen or in the bedroom. Like, there is a kind of geography, and there is something to be mastered there. I think we're all having to learn about domestic labor in a different way, what it means to care for ourselves when we can't depend on going out and grabbing food or having someone else do it for us or whatever. We have things to master. We all have our little Vesuviuses at home.
And I think that this is not the case for everyone, because some people are really in, it's difficult to maintain a home full of people at a time when everybody's still there. I'm not trivializing it, but I do believe that, as is the case with some crises, that, such as the Blitz of London, when things got made, things got imagined, things got written, it can be a very, very powerful, productive time to have everything thrown back into the domestic space. And this poem we're talking about is clearly one of 1,700 and something poems, which all sort of add up to her saying, I don't need to go to the pyramids to tell you about the power of the pyramid. I just don't need to do that. Final thought, Amber Rose, about picking this poem for the season of the virus, the plague?
Yeah, my final thought is actually me thinking about a word that you just used, productive. And I think you're right. This crisis and this time is affecting us all very differently. I think you and I benefit from a lot of privileges that allow us to think about work that we can do, or, you know, how we can use this time. And some folks just aren't afforded that, right? There are some folks that have to be out during this time, helping to keep us safe, helping to keep us fed, and we're grateful to those folks. And there are other folks for whom home can be dangerous or difficult for many reasons. But something that I've really been meditating on is on a different kind of productivity, which is not work-based, but is like internal, being productive with myself, working through some things with myself, and that being a kind of something to really honor. And when I think about Dickinson, I often think about, you know, is it the mind with the brain within its groove?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think Dickinson was very much about that kind of internal work, because she was at home. So also honoring that as a kind of productivity. Yeah.
I think I'm really glad that you said that, because I think there's a large category of productivity that includes the hard psychic work being done by people who are in difficult situations, who have been shut apart from the resources and the supports that they need. The word inclined is really powerful here. Am I inclined to climb? Well, inclined partly means they're the actual incline, the upness of climbing, getting to the top of a volcano rim or of a project, something that she's writing or imagining. But it also means a predilection. It means a willingness. I'm inclined to climb the heights of these problems. I'm ready to face the power of self, be it destructive or constructive.
Right.
And she certainly isn't always saying in these poems that everything is hunky-dory and that I'm constructing things, that I'm being productive. She's often being self-destructive. She's often willing to face that kind of impulse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amber Rose Johnson, this has been delightful. We are sheltering in place with Emily Dickinson. I can't imagine better company.
Thanks so much for inviting me to chat with you, Al.
Thank you.
If you liked this episode, watch another and subscribe.
And join us for ModPo, a free and open course at modpo.org.